game against the Māori squad as well as Siddal. We're underway here, International Rugby League.
Time, boys. They haven't blown the whistle yet.
And the referee, Graham Hill, says, hang on, boys.
He hasn't blown the whistle, Dale.
Let's come back, reset it, boys, reset it. The whistle hadn't gone, boys.
Bit of a wind around today, Richie, and you'd think that the Lions would benefit from that greatly in this first half. What do you read of that?
Oh, certainly. I think there's certainly a 10-point, and if it's used and utilised well for the Lions, certainly you'll get 40-20s on show here today.
Run, boys. What's our first up hits, eh?
We're underway, and the North Island selection of the Buddha Stevie Ray Hainga Albert. He is their rake today. It'll be a bit of a softening up period.
Hands away, 7. Here we are.
A number of these players haven't played for some weeks. Bearing in mind it was the Orcas and the Whalers who made the final. Great to see a good sprinkling of Northern Swords players in here, coastlines as well. Representatives from Manawatu and Taranaki. A warm welcome to you here on Sky Sport, bringing you a glut of rugby league over the next month. It's really an exciting period. Of course, encouraging you to get out and support the big games coming up in Hamilton. On Saturday night, that's Tonga against Great Britain, and then the triple header at Eden Park. So plenty of great footy on show here today. With the ball's Jack Lazenby, who's just inside the North Island selection's half. You've played up in England as well. I know you played pro ball, Richie, but you'd bet there'd be some hearty characters in the amateur game over in England.
Certainly, they're a funny bunch. I think they spend most of their time in pubs, so there's probably a lot of banter. We heard them just previously in the tunnel coming through. They're just hilarious, and they do have a great time, and I've lived there for 4 years, understand it, particularly in the north and Hull, which I absolutely adored.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Is the first penalty. John Skinner-Purr is the skipper today. He's in jersey number 8 for the North Island selection. Played like a Trojan in the final. Wellington won a couple of weeks ago in Christchurch. Another look at that first penalty. The reasons for. Taken by the 6th Levita out of the Northern Swords as well. It's an 18-year-old, but Jock Nicholson is coaching this North Island selection, says for a young guy who's got some great skills. Now this is an opportunity for him, showcased on television, and perhaps there'll be somebody watching who might be interested in young players with plenty of potential, and here's a time to shine. 22 metres out as they work the right side through Levita, a cutout ball, and picking up Kylie Hull. Hull plays it, only 12 from the line now, fed across by Kahotea, and now the straightening run, 2 from the back row, Daly Johnson. He's to ground, 8 metres out from the try line. On the 5th and final tackle now, North Island selection with a great opportunity to draw first blood onto the boot of Governor now, and it goes across field, stolen out of the air, but it will be a turnover. For a moment I thought the Lions would have it, but a good starting set there for the North Island selection.
The wind was against him at that stage. He put the ball up and was hoping that would go that little bit deeper, but if that wind wasn't blowing from south to north at such a gust, there was definitely an opportunity there for points for the North Island team.
When they were warming up, Richie, I thought that the Pommy boys looked a lot bigger than our lads, but maybe it was the red shirts that they had on at the start.
I quite like that kick to a nice low trajectory kick, particularly in this wind. So close to scoring there. But they repelled the Lions. They did extremely well. I'm intrigued to see how they play the Lions, the English community Lions.
Already some running repairs. Big Mike Stark's a giant unit, isn't he, from the Thatto Heath Crusaders. Decent run here from Marcus O'Brien. Gets the ball nicely to Freddy Walker, and Walker sprints away and will make it all the way. Well, that's a terrific run and a fine opening try for the England Community Lions.
Yeah, that was brilliant work again, punching through the middle, exposed in the middle. They ran through in a nice offload with great support from Freddy Walker coming through, showed a ton of pace. But look at this, we cut the ball up from dummy half. The markers wayward there, but it was just the offload. Look at that, easy through the middle. The number 9 comes through, a nice offload, straight in support, as all fullbacks do. Freddy Walker scores a great try.
I spoke to Jock Nicholson before the game. He said, we really have to work hard on our marker defence. We can't give them an inch. They had more than an inch there. They'll have to tighten that up to keep the score closer.
Freddy Walker from the Siddal club as well. Representatives here from West Hull, Featherston Lions, Wathborough, Castleford, Loch Lane, Thatto, Egremont Rangers, Saddleworth Rangers, teams that are seldom discussed on this side of the world. It's wonderful to have them here. That was a good start for them as well. Marcus O'Brien's got some nous from Cumbria, from Milland Town. He's a tough hombre, according to the connections here. 22 in the squad. None of them have been to New Zealand, including the 8 who are coming to assist the team. One of the touring party, in fact, has been to New Zealand, and that's the coach, Richard Owen, who came out with a Bala team some time ago. That was the British Amateur Rugby League Association. Now the England Community Lions up to a good start, 6-0.
Yeah, great start. Again, just shows you through the middle, a week, unfortunately, for the North Island selection side. But I think the know-how and the speed through that middle, particularly from Marcus O'Brien, who had a foresight to expose him in the middle. I mentioned a couple of names early on of presence, which Freddy Walker was one of them, Marcus O'Brien another.
Well, that'll get the cobwebs out, and they'll be pleased to have got across the line. They can get into their work, same says for the North Island selection, of course. A little bit unlucky a few moments ago, looked to score on the far side of the field.
Trainer can't hold it.
You'd like to pay tribute. You've been out on the track there, Lavina, the ground in wonderful condition.
Really impressed with the efforts of Ben Sheriff out there, who is the groundsman. He's been here for 9 years. He told me 40 games this year so far have been placed on this ground, and he said it's got nothing to do with this international fixture. Every time it looks impeccable. I'm really impressed with the ground, and so are the players and the commentators and the fans.
Well, that was a nice little tap back by Levita. This is the kid from up north, and he's obviously one to watch out for. He gets himself involved in the action. He's working acting half now, and will peel it across to the left-hand side. A hard charging run from Tomutu Lohitima, and he's only 5 metres out from the try line. The Community Lions, though, have managed to earn themselves a scrum here, and they'll breathe a sigh of relief. And the North Island team frustration starting to build up. Had a couple of chances close to the line.
And Timu, unfortunate. A nice barge through here. He was able to get through. Good lead drive. We'll just see here. He gets up quickly. It's probably a little bit of a knock there from the English Community Lions player. Again, they're not building pressure. Certainly, it gives them opportunity now for the English Community Lions to post an attack.
Heads away!
They have the ball now 15 from their line. Decent D there from Kahutia. Work to short side. Vida into defensive mode now, and a wall of black and white jerseys. Wrap them up. Proud moment for some of these players. Represent the North Island. Choose a squad often, but a paper squad. This is a neat opportunity. It was a year ago when the trip to New Zealand by the England Lions was first mooted. For them to get 3 games is just the ticket. Bit of a mistake there from Mike Stark. He's a big unit.
Very impressed, actually, the speed in which they're playing.
Scrumming here.
Lions, very much at the advantage line, and a quick play the ball. You can just see this working, a treat for the Lions squad. A bit of a knock on here. But I'm impressed with their setup and their style of play.
He's hard to miss, isn't he, with his crop of blonde hair. His folks out in the stand as well have made the big trip down as well. Very calm is the description Jock Nicholson gave to him. A young player with plenty of potential. Keep your eye out for him as we see the ball worked away here by Hayne Albert. A few willing workhorses at the moment putting their hand up for the North Island, and a darting run by Stevie Ray. 25 from the line. North Island take it down the left edge. The back rower sends it on the inside. This is Sopa Manu. Manu wrapped up in a wall of red and white jerseys, but he's well positioned here, 20 metres out. Decoy run through the hands of Governor, and now out wide to the fullback Robins. He steps in, drops it on the inside for Kahutia.
Final, Marcus!
He's shut down, 15 out from the try line. So what will the North Island selection do here? Needed to get the ball away. Driven towards touch. And success for the Community Lions. Perhaps not the best option there, Lavina.
Not a great option. No, I had a feeling they should have gone right. It's easy to say that in hindsight. Foresight is so much a better thing, Dale, but they needed to attack more left there. What Richie was saying before about the intensity of the Community Lions, I agree. I like the way that they're being expansive, but also attacking it up the front. And I think you'll see that here now. They're looking for gaps in the middle of the field, taking advantage of some poor defence, and they may score again.
10 got 1 try. Bit of a settling in period was expected here, but both teams warming to their task now. Skin and pour across the top. Some assistance from Daley Johnson and 19 on the defensive work. The Community Lions now with it. 30 out from their own line, a 15 in. The far touch. There's Levita again. Skin and pour, the skipper. Played great for Wellington. Of course, as Richie mentioned, a team not quite what we've got today for Jock Dickinson had a run against the New South Wales country under 23s. And a lot of ambitious players in that lineup. New South Wales country's pretty strong. Got towed up, he said, but you know, it was a good learning curve. The kick back on the inside, skillfully done. Here we go. They think we're in Wembley at the moment, these boys.
Sure. This is rugby league. This is not soccer or football.
Penalties here, boys.
Going good with that one. They don't even call it rugby league over there, do they?
It's rugby. Look at this kick through. Like, obviously went at the side of his. Look at this attempt. He used this. That's outstanding. And a chip through here. Fantastic work. Skill.
Oh, well. Crossover of games. Here's Levita. It's a beautiful park here too. Great to have a 5:30 game. Richie B, it's a good opportunity now for the North Island selection.
I think for the North Island selection, it's vitally important that they get to the kick and build pressure. I mean, a number of times they've gone up there, poor decision on the 5th tackle, they've lost the ball, so the focus is just to get to the kick.
It was interesting what you mentioned about the under-23s New South Wales side. 8 of those players have been earmarked for the NRL next year. So they came out here to teach a lesson or two, and I think there's some players out here that want to draw the attention of some scouts.
This North Island selection got ambushed. Pretty tough footy in the country in New South Wales, that's for real. Here we have Isopu Manu with the ball. He's wrapped up 25 metres out now. Here's another chance. An opportunity opening up here for the North Island squad. Down the short side they go. Nice play back on the inside, trying to line up Tamati Robins. But the ball has gone down. Referee Graham Hill. There will be a knock on here. Zealand, or North Island in fact, will get the ball. This was some enterprising play down the left edge. Very nearly got back in, but Fran King with his arm up there. Skipper comes with good raps too from the Wathborough club. Creative with ball in hand. He's got a good step. Strapping centre. It's a great chance for the North Island. It's to Levita. Centred on the inside for Kahatia. He's only 10 metres out from the try line now. Full set at their disposal. They're all lining up. And the big skipper says, well, I'll have a dig first, and carts it in. Community Lions wrap them up, put them away. Quick play of the ball through the man at the back, and here's an opportunity, almost trying to worm his way through, Jalon Governor. Will get up to play the ball right in front of the line, and now the North Island with a barging, storming effort. Look at that wall of England Community Lions. They knew they were under the pump and under the threat, but they pushed back on Daley Johnson. Here's Levita to McFarlane. Levita on the double around. Trying to be creative, like that style in a young man, not overawed.
Coming back for number 4 offside.
One of the things Jock likes, one of the things he likes about young Levita is he's not afraid to boss his older players around. You need a vocal man at 6'7". North Island still with another chance though on the 10-metre line. There's a goodie. It's Skin and Pua. Starts charging towards the line. He's only a metre away himself. Needs it delivered up quickly. Heinga Albert with it. Gets it across to McFarlane, and McFarlane puts a pass on, and it almost comes good. Well, the North Island, they'll be champing at the bit to get an opportunity here. Here's Levita who steps again, and another good tackle from the Lions keeps him at bay. 7 out from the line, fed along, runner on the inside. The back rower, Johnson, with a half skip pick up for Manu. Gets around one, backs himself, then pops the pass out the back to Hainga Albert. Doesn't quite know where he's going. A little bit of scramble football, understandably. They haven't had a lot of opportunities, but here's a charge to the line, and so close for Kylie Hall. Pushed away at the last moment, Hall, from the Northern Swords. Hats off to this Community Lions defence, Lavina.
I think the line defence has been exceptionally impressive. There's 3 or 4 on the line every single time they come in, but out here it had to come down to Gareth Gale to make a difference. And tremendous defence. Take the ball, take them out. Excellent effort, excellent effort.
Curtis Tear there in jersey number 5. He's an interesting lad. He was in the Under-19 European Championship. He's from Wathbro. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But investment in the future. And of course, while they're amateurs, there's a chance with good play.
What was that word you used, Dale?
Scouts. Wathbrow it might be. But Curtis Tear's one to watch out for. A mistake here from the Community Lions.
I love the concept of grassroots rugby league being exposed here today. The amateurs from both countries having the opportunity. I mean, every one of these players, as you know, are working either full-time or have families and commit their efforts to make sure that rugby league takes it to the next level. The Community Lions, as Stephen mentioned in his introduction, 80 players here from several regions, community regions, making a difference to rugby league in their country, and so too is the North Island.
Seems like a trip back in time, really, because pro ball for Kiwis really only over the last 30 or 40 years. Prior to that, everything was amateur, just as we are witnessing here as well. Another little mistake here for the North Island. They'll be ruining missed opportunities at the moment, because they've had a number of them. And with a 10-point wind, they're actually doing pretty well defensively here, and to get good field position, Richie.
They've only had 2 sessions together too, on the selection side, so it's hard to find the rhythm. The South will find the rhythm and get your pace online and selection of pass. So I'm sure in the first half, finding out the cobwebs.
Mike Stark with a decent sort of a run. This is O'Brien again. He gets work for Gareth Morgan. To his feet on the 40-metre line. England end of the ground. Good defence. North Island moving up collectively down the right edge. That's down the left. Attacking zone comes the Community Lions. 4 of their reserves warming up here. Danny Hurst and Tony Burns. Tommy Horner, Danny Riding. All doing the business sideline. Great take at the back for Robins, Tamati Robins. Rotorua boys high. And, great to see Coastlines with a representative squad this year. They've been in recess for a couple of seasons. Big ups to those who are participating in the footy scene over there in Tauranga Moana. Got a man down at the back. See an ambulance here in Zambucks. That's the referee, Graham Hill. Let's have a look how this came to be, Richie.
Just the structure in the play. Look at that. They come out of dummy half. Just the late tackle there into the gut. But what I do like is the support play, playing advantage line. The tip-ons are really good. Second guess defensively. It's very hard to read, but they run unders plays. I like the structure.
Good as Tier. We saw him in the back. It'll be a blow for the Community Lions if Marcus O'Brien has to leave the field. He doesn't look in great shape, does he? Perhaps winded, but could be worse than that. Maybe a rib. Bit dusty.
He'll top the tackle count every time, is Marcus O'Brien. Very hungry on defence, and is the one that they rely on as a go-to defensively, so they really want him to remain out there for the rest of the match. Looks all right, having a nod, get a magic spray and the special water.
18 gone, still just that one try early on in the match after 4 minutes. Was scored by Freddy Walker. Chimed in beautifully to that break made by Marcus O'Brien. He gets a chance to reset. North Island selection have the ball. Nice strip too, and it's a good memento of the higher honours achieved. A lot of these club players. Bit of attitude, and that carried too from Daley Johnson. Johnson for the Northern Swords. He offers a few options too to his coaching staff. Johnson, nice standoff, second row, all 13. At the moment he's filling the latter spot. The tackle deemed too high. Levita with the ball. At the obligatory rat's tail in the back as well, Levita. Well, here's another chance for the North Island selection. Let's see if they can be a little bit more creative and structured. Difficult when you've had limited preparation time. But the confidence will be pretty high as well. Suplemani was very busy against New South Wales country, and he has a good work rate as well, the second rower. Back to the skipper now, and he charges into a tackle made by Connor Dwyer. Dwyer out of Thatto as well, as we see again. Johnson. Plenty of skill as well on Daley Johnson. Robins pulls his way forward inside the 10 now, and once again an opportunity setting itself here for the North Island selection. A little knock on, so guilty of unforced errors at the moment, the North Island squad. They're not doing themselves any favours.
Need to play a game of percentage football. They need to wait for the opposition to make mistakes. It is tough out there. They are in a fierce headwind. As you said before, Dale, there might be 10 points in it, but it's just the nitty-gritty. Pick it up, drop it, roll it forward. No one saw it. Please, no one saw it. And then you hear the old, someone saw it.
County Broughton, that little error there. So now into defensive mode. There is Broughton who makes the tackle. It's from Taranaki. So he plays in the second row as well. Had that hit out 3 weeks ago against New South Wales County. Levita and tackle mode. He's picked up on the shoulder of the big number 4, Lazenby. To his feet now, O'Brien.
Move together!
25 metres out from their own line. The man on the field is Tommy Horner. Horner's put away. A warm welcome to those of you watching the game in England. You enjoy seeing rugby league from your part of the world here, Vincent. Hope you're enjoying seeing a bit of action here from the amateur game. I'm in Taupo, New Zealand. Lovely to come on out and visit. Get another look at what was a sloppy play the ball.
Facing the wrong way, I think, Dale.
Didn't touch it with his foot. In fact, it was just a whole lot of mistakes in that play the ball, to be honest. Didn't really get that happening, did he? Skin and paw. Run here, that's gone backwards, and that's okay. Little teamwork. Did it purpose. Down the right side, it's Levita, shows it on the inside, goes himself, wrapped up by O'Brien. He's obviously recovered from that injury, 10 metres out from the try line. Down the right side they come. Nice little ball out for Hall. Hall sees an opportunity and pops the pass back, but Tier is in there to cover up. 3 out from the try line. Can the North Island selection finally get across? They've had plenty of ball and plenty of opportunity, just haven't been able to crack the defensive line here from the community lines. And again, solid in centre field.
Boys, make the line. Don't go early. Go.
Down the left side, onto Governor. He'll put it into the end goal. They're quite big here, but not big enough. As the chasers couldn't get to it, the community Lions will start on the 20.
Too much weight on there from Governor coming through, the kick through. But certainly I think the defensive structure of the English community Lions has been fantastic. They just come up The ruck speed from North Island selections not that great. Lateral movement. They're able to pick them off. They're able to aim up, and unfortunately, with the wind you'd expect coming through, we're about to push the ball up.
A little aggrieved there at the moment, talking with referee Hill. Not sure what the hell it was. Did you pick up on that, Lavina?
I think they thought the England community Lions had touched the ball on the way out, but as we could see from the replay, it didn't happen. But this will cost them. I mean, the kick from Governor's too deep and too heavy. There's no attacking flair on it, and then within 3 tackles, they're giving away a penalty, which is just surrendering field position, which you can't afford to do against this breeze while you're down 6-0 with just 15 minutes to go.
Decent start here. If you've just joined us, this is the first of 3 games the England Community Lions will be playing. They'll certainly get a dose of Māori Rugby League. They're playing a New Zealand Māori resident squad, coached by Sean Clark. Sean, the successful coach of the Howard Hornets in the Auckland Rugby League Fox Memorial Championship. It's a great opportunity for him as well. It's a 2:30 kickoff on Sunday afternoon from the International Stadium in Rotorua. And here's a break that has been made. There's a runner on the end zone, should have given the pass, but this time he didn't manage to do that, and to his feet now. Rue that mistake, and this is a decent run, and a charging Jamie Tracey is in to score. Wonderful effort from the Community Lions. That'll make it 10-0 from close range too, with a kick to come.
I thought they might have rued that one, actually. At one stage, I thought he should have given it, and it looked as though he wanted to hold it for too long. But that the support play was outstanding by the England Community Lions, and they played very patient for a while there. Drew the defence, made sure that you'd wait to break the break, looking for some support play. Didn't give it, and I thought, oh, that'll cost you, Richie. But in the end, he thought, we'll go right again, cut out pass, nice and simple, short ball, bushy.
Well, they're just running good lines, aren't they? And again, support plays you mentioned before, Lavina. They're able to play with support, second-guess the defence, but it's the lines in which they run. The lines in which they run. Incredible. I think it's very simple, but yet very effective in the way they play.
Well, they'll be pleased to have notched up that try too, because as we mentioned, I think there's about a 10-point wind here for the Community Lions. That'll satisfy them and Coach Richard Owen. Look for the extras as well. Pretty straightforward from close range here. No problemo. As you can see, an overcast evening here in Taupo. It's been quite blustery across New Zealand actually over the last couple of days. 15. So the big captain's been given a smell. Tama Renton is on for the North Island selection. Tama in 15 from Coastlines. Next rugby player actually in his first year of rugby league. So he's come from rugby into the Automotai and then the Coastlines, and now rep footy. It's been quite the season for Tama Renton. Not sure if I should roll my R with the Renton. What do you think?
I'd roll it with the Renton.
You like the Renton?
I'd roll it with the Renton. They'll miss John Skinnan-Puna, the captain, at this stage. I know that he needs to have a breather, and there's just 15 minutes to go, 14 minutes to go, but his defence has been impeccable out there. He hasn't, hardly missed a tackle, and I heard him talking to his players saying, let's go, we can do it. They've got the win, so let's hope the skipper comes back in the second half with a vengeance.
Behind Albert with the restart. Stevie Ray, he's an Auckland. Clever and smart, good dummy half. He'll need to lead from the front in the absence of Skinnan-Puna. Number 12's Harty, isn't he? He's from the Northern Swords too, one of the senior players. A Mannering type, with great attitude. All the guys like working with him. That's him in 12, getting into his work with Levita, who's had a standout opening 27 minutes.
Your hands are all over him. You got to release him.
Another penalty here for the Community Lions. It looks as though they're enjoying themselves though, Richie.
Certainly are. I mean, they're having to weather the storm here. Northern Island selection. That they too, the English Community Lions, have made a number of mistakes, unforced errors in the last 5 minutes, but they've converted a couple of tries. Unfortunate there, really.
Marcus O'Brien gets it across. Plenty of blokes want to have a go. All lining up. For Siddons to play it as O'Brien peels off to the right-hand side. Manages to get it to Carl Dixon. He's swamped. McFarlane once again getting through plenty of defensive work. And slow to get off from Stevie Ray this time. Another penalty. Really making life difficult for themselves at the moment, the North Island selection. Making some discipline. High shots, not clearing away from the tackled player quick enough. As Scott Spaven sends it across the far side of the field. West Hull player. Nice opportunity for him here this evening. With the ball, the skipper, Fran King. He's only 12 out from the try line. The Community Lions go a long way to securing even a win. If they can get across the line here early, the numbers are there. Good ball for Spaven. And then he's claimed from behind and shut down. 15 out from the line. Still the momentum here with the Lions. That's a good carry as well, Dixon. He comes up only 5 metres short of the line. The standoff to play it now. It's O'Brien. Here they're dangerous. Through the middle, there's plenty of runners. Freddy Walker's got the ball. He'll try to step, but he's shut down as well. 1.5 metres out from the try line. Here come the Community Lions. Look out for this bloke. He's big as a house as well. And he comes charging at the line, the big number 18. That's Tony Burns. Spaven. Great ball. Lazenby. That one's gone down.
Knock on against White.
Lock on against White.
Knock on White.
And the North Island selection will be very pleased to get ball in hand here.
Hats off to Tama Renton. I mean, he is a workhorse at the moment. 3 tackles in a row. Made sure he came quick off his feet to shut down every player in front of him. They had to nullify things here. They had to wait for the mistake from the Community Lions. They played a patient defensive game and it paid dividends. But definitely Tama, an amazing effort out there. It's performances like that that will lift your team as you head into 10 minutes away from half-time.
Hold here, boys. Hold here. 13's in. Wait for 13 to hit. Binding over. Heads are in.
Change in jersey, Tony Burns. Listed as 15. He's in 18. 2 tries. Both converted. The 4th minute for Walker. 25th for Tracey. North Island with the ball. That's a pretty solid defensive effort as well on County Broughton. To his feet, still inside their own 20. Manu has it this time. He's well covered. Closed down. Joshua Kerr is in. Ross McFarlane gets a spell here for the North Island. The defence holds on to the ball as well. This is the replacement Renton. Has been busy and good. Andre Kemp into the mix as well. And a Wellington, good loose forward. Young, plenty of potential as well for Kemp onto Levita. He'll send it skyward. The wind gets hold of it and carries it over the sideline on the far side of the field.
That was great defensive work there. You see the line speed and the intensity of the English Community Lions come through. Their line speed rushing up, nullifying the North Island selection team to only 40 metres and that's set. Brilliant work.
Tony Burns getting a spell as Marcus O'Brien. He had that whack as well. Burns does play the ball. Community Lions getting into their work. It's good to see us. Horner tackled by Levita. Continues to impress both on attack and defence. The back rower is Siddons. He gets himself to 25 out, right in centre field too. Have to be on guard here, the North Island selection. The Community Lions have plenty of intent at the moment. This time it's Horner again.
15, lock in.
Prepared to give it a whack at times too. Horner had another penalty. Well, they're really playing into the Community Lions' hands here, and kick not surprising. Take it out to a 14-0 lead, and that's a pretty good lead. Just 8 minutes out from the halftime break.
Discipline will be costly, but the community Lions know how to niggle, and that's the game they're playing at the moment. What I was impressed with was the fact that Levita kicks the ball out, head goes down, and rather than back up and have a complain about it, he makes 3 tackles in a row. That's an 18-year-old kid that is looking for a prospective contract. He is the future of rugby league of this country, and it was good to see that on the back of a mistake, he'll defensively lift his game. They're still in this game, Dale. With this win behind the community Lions, it was worth at least 10 to 14 points. It's a game on our hands at the moment with this North Island selection team.
Absolutely agree, Lavina. There's plenty of time here, but they'll have to cut down on the errors at the moment. Also the discipline, the penalty count as well against the local lads. Looking to slot this one. Scotty Spaven. He's successful and raises the flags. 14-0. Richie Barnett with just on 7.5 to play here in the first half.
Certainly like to see the North Island selection side run more direct. They're going too lateral, and I think at times they're trying to throw the ball around. It's not working for them. It's allowing the England community Lions the ability to really rush up and nullify any attacking. So, yep, simple game plan.
Danny Hurst there, rubbing his hands together. So, oh, feels like winter back home. Really neat to be here in Dopal. The last time I was here was, I remember David Peachy brought Cronulla here. I thought maybe it was a pre-season game. Because David teamed up with a Wahine from these ways, didn't he, Richie B?
He did. Great man, old Dave Peachy, and that was fantastic to see this region have the quality of game in Cronulla arriving here on Delaney Park in 2011, I believe so.
The many clubs you played for?
Well, I actually choose now the Roosters since they won the comp. So,
how many clubs did you play for?
Well, I played for the Sharks first all, and then the Roosters, London Broncos, and All FC.
And Otahu.
And Otahu, of course, my breakthrough. Club.
Still proud of your efforts, Richie. One of 5 New Zealand skippers from that proud club based in Auckland. Hats off to Benji Marshall. Gets another chance to run out with the C beside his name as well on Friday night. Tomorrow night. Wollongong. It's a tough ask for the Kiwis, but you know it's an interesting squad that Raj has put together for us. That's a decent sort of a whack we can hear from up here. Chris Siddons. There's the big runner, a bit of the what for. Now the North Island selection. Manu, staggered run. Thought for a moment a window might have opened up, but not so. He'll play the ball, only just, I can tell you as well. Here's Levita. Nicely read to by Spaven. The halfback. Down the right edge they come. It's Governor, into the end goal. The chase is there, and Tear pushes it dead. So they will get another opportunity with 5 to play in this first half. Some good work here by the North Island squad.
Better kick, well weighted, better attacking flair, opportunity to get the ball back, an opportunity to score. Also, quick play the ball from the North Island selection side, which we didn't see 10 minutes ago. Got to play that ball quick if you want to take advantage of this very good defensive effort from the community Lions.
Fran King, like to see him with the ball in hand a little more. This is a spirited run as well from Gareth Gale, who comes in from the right side. Gareth Gale, Featherstone Lions, he's to his feet now.
Hands away!
This will run from Hurst and Siddons, shut down by Manu.
Don't lock him in there.
Centrefield, 35 from the line. The community Lions fancy their chances, and that's a good defensive effort from Kahotea. Puts it on Fran King.
Final!
There's Hurst, good defence as well. Hanger Albert making the tackle. Better be on guard here again, the North Island selection. The crossfield check. There's plenty of white jerseys on the chase. Out it comes here to Kahotea. And he manages to get into the field of play. Repels the threat momentarily, but a long way from where they need to be. The North Island selection this time. Decent run from Hall. 22 metres out. 15 in from the broadcast side here of Owen Delaney Park. Tony Burns putting in some decent defensive work. And this is a good run with attitude and potency. Just short of the halfway line though, and it's Levita who'll send it out to the right. The kick is into touch. Well, I thought it went to touch, so in the end it's fielded by the Community Lions who have it on their 30-metre line.
Again, the defence is just repelling North Island selection side. They really are pushing them into a no man's land, going wide, trying the short side, but to no prevail. And again, they come transition to defence into attack on the advantage line. A lot of support play. Ruck speed is so important in this game. They're winning that battle.
Richard Dale will be pretty pleased with this first half effort by the Community Lions. Got rid of the cobwebs. This Carl Dixon sees one on the inside. Beautiful ball for Jamie Tracey. And a perfect defensive play there from Tamati Robins. Still alive with it. It's Dixon. On to Spaven now. Spaven finds Burns. And Burns decides he's a kicker as well. And then comes and pushes Levita in the back. Well, I'm not sure it would have stuck anyway, because Burns decided Levita was in his way, so just says, out of my way, and does the big push. Get another look at it here. A couple of good runs here at the moment too from the Community Lions. Lovely pass back on the inside for Dixon.
Yeah, they had to read the play, didn't they? They were full on attacker after an amazing tackle from Tamati Robins. They decided to go to the left side. We'll have a kick. Is there support play? No, we'll push him out the way. Forward pass, I can grab it. Not going to happen.
Curtis Tier. Thinking, oh, if only. Here it is, that wonderful mountain in the background. It's a picturesque park here on Delaney Stadium. Well, there's plenty to like about the Community Lions' attitude here. They line up against the New Zealand residents. It'll be a tough gig for them as well next week, Friday. It's at Trust Stadium, Henderson, in Auckland's West. If you'd like to come out and support the New Zealand residents team. Coach this year, Andrew Matangi, successful with the Canterbury team. Not quite in the final, but certainly guided them into top spot in the National Premiership.
25, release!
North Island selection, they get it wide, it's out to Mana. Robins comes in, chimes in, that ball is nice, down the left edge, here's Francis Vaua. And Francis just ankle tap from the back. He'll send it on the inside for Governor. And Jalon to play the ball 32 metres out. He gets up a bit ginger as well. And that's a horrid pass. All the momentum that they had and opportunity. They'll have to try and rebuild to Kyle Hall. Here's the kick back on the inside. And the bounce is perfect. Bit of a hurdling effort across the top of Hall as well. It's by Tier. Curtis Tier, fullback, into the action. Freddy Walker keeps his legs pumping too, despite three defenders all over him. On the 40-metre line, Huda goes in the background, an entertaining first half. One last roll of the dice, not used this time by Chris Siddons. Pretty satisfactory first half performance here. And at half-time at Owen Delaney Park here in the very first of the England Community Lions. 3 matches here in New Zealand on their short tour. They lead the North Island selection 14-0. Well, these guys have been used to some chilly conditions coming from England. No stranger to a bit of wind as well. Because they're enjoying themselves so far on this trip. They get an official porphyry tomorrow, I'm told. They head towards Rotorua, where the haka on display at the annual Māori Rugby League tournament. Some of the best in the business. And have awards just for the haka. It's a wonderful showcase, and when two teams are ripping into it, and both performing haka at the same time, it's a sight to behold. There's another mistake. Lavina, I don't know what's going on here at the moment, but the North Island selection really making life tough for themselves.
Their own worst enemy at this stage. I'm sure Jock Nicholson would have said to them at halftime, if we don't make the mistakes, we're in with a chance with this game. So what we need to do early in the second half is score some points, and to do that, don't make any errors. And we've seen one within the first 60 seconds of the second half.
For me to our North, we'll be watching this from the Northern Swords. Penitent as well through the year. Here's a chance down the right side for Gareth Gale. He's a big winger, isn't he? And he's spinning his way, manages to pop the pass out as well. Danger time here for the North Island selection. Danny Hurst almost across the line, just millimetres in it. Now he's lost the ball, and it'll be a penalty against the North Island selection. Penalty count well and truly in the Community Lions' favour. Plenty of interest here, and that's a perfect run. Too good as well. Connor Dwyer, a beautifully worked try here for the Community Lions. And just 2 minutes into the second half, they're in for try number 3.
Well, it's certainly not the start they wanted. Connor Dwyer was able to run that angle. They looked in 6 and 7s on the right. You see a player rush up. You see the alignment or misalignment in that defensive structure. And poor read in defence, structure all over the place. The Community Lions on fire to register a try so early on in the second half.
Good effort here for the second row. He's had a good game alongside Jamie Tracey, who scored the 25th minute as well. So both of the big men, big and mobile, doing well. Hard worker Connor Dwyer out of the Thatto club. That's the try that they needed. Might go on with it here as well. It's a good lead for them, 18-0. Could soon be 20. Scotty Spaven. The restart. And of course it comes with costs to come across on a tour like this. ACOM and the travel expenses are significant. This one holds up in the wind. Well, there you go. What are you chuckling about there, Mr.
I think
Barnett?
Richie was about to say the wind has picked up. I think what he was about to say. Then too many defenders for the North Island Invitational then in front of the ball, and just gave the opportunity out wide for the Community Lions to take advantage of the overlap. There were 2 overlaps actually, but like the way the Community Lions have started this game with intent and also an intense running on the ball. Good to see.
So it was the players, their families and their community clubs who will work together, I guess, in a sponsorship of each individual to get them out here. It's a nice formula. So you're playing not just for yourself, but for the community where you live. A reason to celebrate that communal effort to get them all the way across the side of the world. So here they are, the Community Lions. Upended there, Jack Lazenby. He's been pretty good. I thought he made a big blue though in the try that was eventually scored by Tracey. And it didn't matter too much. Penalty's really getting out of hand here. Nicholson will be disappointed. He's hanging on too long. You're not allowed to. Oh, I think did the wheelbarrow a little bit.
Lazenby's been fantastic, hasn't he? Managed to get through the yards at ease. Those tough yards out of trouble. Does it with ease.
Jack Lazenby. Who was George Lazenby? I play 7. Stephen McIver's with us. Well, you're quite right.
Head away, 19.
No, Jack Lazenby's going pretty good. And another penalty. So they're really backtracking because of ill discipline at the moment. This North Island squad. Kicking to the far side of the field, and now the restart on the 40-metre line now. Up by 18-0. Decent lead. Lazenby has the ball now. Dwyer. Burns. The big Burns. Gets the ball out to Tommy Horner. He's taken in the tackle of Kemp. Assistance from Johnson. Them back rowers. A show and go from Danny Hurst. Nice play here, structured play. Freddy Walker chimes into the line. The fullback's already scored one, and this time goes close again. Danger time for the North Island selection. Here come the Community Lions again. It's Siddons now who charges at the line. Almost there. You think one more pass and they could break this North Island defence. Out to the right it comes, through Spaven. The inside runner is big and powerful. It's Tracey. That was a good ball as well. Being very creative, this England squad. And they're being rewarded as well, again, as we see the loose forward Siddons charge towards the line with success this time around. And all is well. Try number 4 here for the visitors.
Well, I think it was Chris Siddons there. Fantastic work. What a great set. Throwing a lot at the North Island selection side with a nice outside-inside pass and a nice link inside. But their structure was fantastic. You saw them go wide. I really like the look of Danny Hurst coming in at dummy half, picking up options, and then they've come from left to right. And again with options, so much going on with this line side. They're able to get back into a set and get back into their next set very quickly. Very impressed with that aspect of the game.
Showing some decent commitment to the loose forward. And then like a corkscrew and manages to free his arms and just sneak it across the line. But they all count. 47 gone, 22-0. Really, you just have to look back, Lavina, at the glut of penalties that they've given away, this North Island's team, and they've really created a millstone around their necks at the moment.
I'll be disappointed with that. Their line defence then, they'd almost categorise that as soft. They worked so hard to keep them back off the line for 2 sets and then let that one go. Having trouble here with the kick on the tee. I'm sure if Chook was here, he'd be able to give them some advice as to where to put the ball, at what particular angle, and in fact, where to kick it. But yeah, the North Island team will be really, really disappointed with that line defence there because it was within their right to keep that player out.
Is it a Halligan tee? That could be the problem. I've seen them put them in football boots for years. What we're saying, happy as a sandboy. I'll talk of it in a moment. Let's just follow that through. This one looks okay. There's an old saying, happy as a sandboy, and I used to think it was because the kids who would run on and put down the mound of sand were the happiest kids in the world. Hey, do you think so?
Absolutely, Dale. That was fantastic, the old days. And without sand, it was the old...
But then I found out, Richie, that it actually comes, back in the day, young blokes would take the sand out of the river Thames. And these are back in the days when all the pubs over there had sand and sawdust floors so that people could spill their beer and also spit. And so the sand boys got paid in beer. And that's why they were happy.
That's why they were happy. I get it now. I was wondering where you were going with that one, Dale. I get it.
Is that the church in London had sand?
Well,
sawdust, was
apparently,
it?
Yep, that's the way it used to be. And so if you're happy as a sand boy, it means that the publican is given a few pints to say thanks for the sand. There we go. It's a history lesson for us all. Well, the community lions are roaring at the moment and really hello. There he is. Chilling out on the sideline, literally.
Like the wind off the Humber Bridge, mate. Ooh.
So I'm sure that they'll be wanting to just turn this around. We've got the penalty stats with us, but it would make for uncomfortable reading for the players and the team management as well. Become the community lions, you know, when there's a few points on the scoreboard. You know, everyone wants a piece of the action, eh, Lavina?
Of course they do. Of course they do. They're like, well, come right, come left. I'm feeling for the North Island select team at the moment. I mean, it's out of fatigue and frustration that they're giving away these penalties, but they are becoming their worst enemy. And unless they shut it down, this scoreboard will be a whole lot higher for the touring community Lions here from England.
Carl Dixon to his feet. Hurst. The try scorer, Siddons, who gets it away. Play on now. I'd like to see this guy with a bit more action. Tomo Renton. Already complimented him on his work when he first came on as a replacement for Johnston and Pua. The big number 8. There's a little bit of movement there at the moment. JT Wharepaparawiri has just come on and he's replaced Tisope Manu, who's put in some big minutes.
So they're wrestling well, aren't they? They're holding them down that fraction of a second, and it makes all the difference.
3, release!
Good tackle. Oh, Timu is back into the mix. That's him with the football right now. Centre field, 45 metres out. Tonga Albert darts out of dummy half. Nicely drawn in by Andre Kemp.
I'd like to see him do that more, Hunga Albert. I'd like to see him make more yards from dummy half and take advantage of the soft and the very tired forwards.
There's Levita, perhaps sends it a bit deep, and Levita comes and capitalises on the mistake and will score right beside the posts. Well, fortune favours the bold. He put it up there. I didn't think it was a great kick, but in the end, the ricochet paid dividends for the talented standoff. Finally on the board, the North Island selection.
Well, they needed something. They needed a try, and it was the back end of a mistake. But it was a good kick and good charge. Unfortunately, for the Community Lions, the mistake warranted a try. But look at this, Tavita, he kicks it and gets the ball back. A real unfortunate mistake there. But again, Tavita, foresight to chase the ball just in case, and it's exactly what happens.
That's what, so it's anyone's game once the ball's gone to ground. John Skinner-Poole's made his way back onto the track. That's the skipper here for this squad. Yeah, Levita's stands out, remind you. Still just 18. So that could be just the boost needed here. 12.5 minutes into this second half. Quickest kick ever from Jalan Governor. The scoreline now at 22-6 as we get another look. It's Curtis Tear on the far side, not one of his best.
The kick's as good as the chase. Nice kick from Levita, and he chased it and picked up the reward from the knock-on.
England had Mike Stark coming on for Chris Siddons at the moment. Stark, the big prop forward. So the big men have returned. Looking forward to see Skinner-Poole as the captain. In shot there's Kelly Broughton. Looking at the back by Kemp. Let's see if that just sparks some interest here. A few less penalties and a bit of go forward, which has been provided here by Kemp. Look at what we see from Kemp. There's another bloke, a half-decent footballer, went by that name.
Sorry, the old Kempy. But you're right, Daley Johnson, Ross McFarlane and Kemp, you know, three players that showed some real spark, and their ability to get through the line, their body angle, positioning has been fantastic too.
That was a decent kick, wasn't it? All the work you've got to put in to make 30, 40 metres. Listen, off the boot there of Levita. So here's a chance for the North Island selection to build something. Good run from Broughton. He's within range now. Early in the tackle count. Deep in enemy territory. As the Kiwi boys with the football now only 5 metres out. And into play comes Hunga Albert. Will he have a go himself? He will have a go himself, and he crawls across the line to get another try. Well, they're coming back into this one, the North Island selection. Just what the doctor ordered.
Yep, Hunga Albert. The ability, he's been sharp throughout this whole game. Limited opportunities, but he certainly sensed that opportunity close to the line. You see the marker's not so, the first marker was not in place. He sensed it. He's smart. Darts through, and a desperate need. Funny how a first try ignites another try.
Impressive, very impressive. He had to make his way through the defence of Tony Burns, and his defence has been very good all afternoon. I mentioned before, it'd be great to see him making some runs from dummy half. Isn't it great to see the hooker making a run a metre short of the line? Confident enough to charge away through a couple of props. Lovely to see, and it's a great comeback that we're witnessing here from the North Island select.
Yeah, they're disappointing for defensive coaches, though, because they're cagey. They're a breed unto themselves, hookers, aren't they? And that time, just snuck under their guards. But certainly, that'll give another boost in confidence to this young North Island team. He doesn't muck around. So Jalan Governor, 22-12. The wind, as we touched on in that first half, really is starting to play its hand with that big 30, 40-metre kick. Just got him into a great field position. And look what happened soon after. Stevie Ray.
Position which they're scoring close to the post. That's picking up 12 points. 6 points. Tries, so that's very important.
Play that. Play on.
4 to
10,
12.
stand.
Interesting times here. 16 gone in the second half. Hope you're enjoying the action from Owen Delaney Park in Taupo. Not often we play Thursday night footy. We're in NZ, so pretty special having these guys in town.
Hands away.
Thoughts too with our Kiwi squad. That action coming, of course, from Wollongong tomorrow night.
About the same temperature as it is here, isn't it, Dale?
In Wollongong?
Do you reckon?
It's a tough field for New Zealand teams. But, of course, they're all the same shape, size, so can't really use it as an excuse. But I know the Warriors struggle in Wollongong all the time, don't they, Livina?
Yeah, the temperature will take its toll, I think, on both sides tomorrow night. I heard from a couple of colleagues over there that it's about 31 degrees at the moment. Another high ball, struggling with that. Struggling is Freddy Walker.
31 degrees, you're kidding me.
About
Really?
the same as Taupo.
Whoa.
Oh no, it's 13, not 31.
13 degrees,
Oh,
right,
got it around the
yeah.
wrong way.
Black ball.
Oh, that could be pretty testing too.
Well, great testing, and the speed of the ball when it comes down, I think, is more important when you kick the ball up and it really angles down quickly. And they've been tested. You know, the North Island selection weren't tested with the ball and the kicks. Certainly, it's reverse roles. Very difficult for the back three to contend with the high balls, and spiralling balls, and power of the wind.
And Freddy Walker making a big blue there. On to Governor. Now to JT Whalepaparawa, another one of these Orcas.
Held one.
Versatile.
Release now.
Played well earlier in the
It's on 11.
competition.
On 11,
Whalepaparawa.
you got to release.
And a penalty, so it's starting the momentum.
Marks where you are. Marks
Starting
where you are.
to build here for the North Island selection. Everyone wants to put their hands up as well. Here's JT again on the 10 metres, committing 3 to the tackle this time, the Community Lions.
Make the line.
And having a decent look around is Hainger Albert. He'll push it to the right-hand side. Kemp with a dummy, and now shut down, but a good field position here. It's a great opportunity for the North Island selection. Skin and Poor was there. They don't use him. Instead, it goes to Governor. Tries to wrong foot the defensive line. He pops the pass out the back nicely to Broughton. And Broughton spins as well. He's getting close to the line also, Broughton. Goes down, but he just can't get the leather onto the line. Still alive, though, for the North Island. Numbers there, over the line. Try is scored out wide. Great play by the replacement on Hotima. And that's 3 tries in quick succession. The North Island selection are really starting to put the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the Lions are concerned.
Wow, back-to-back tries. Fantastic work. You can just see here, they're poking their nose through a couple of defenders. They were very short on the left edge there for the Lions. They were exposed, but the direction, the right pass, perfect. And the big prop, Taumutu, comes through and bashes through the line. This is an interesting phase in the game, isn't it?
3 tries in a row for the North Island select, who are under the pump at half-time. The difference between the first half and the second half for this local side is definitely the fact that their execution has improved. They had the opportunities in the first half, but couldn't complete those sets. Too many mistakes, too many penalties. They started the second half with a mistake, but then to have Nohotima out wide, the number 10, taking on a nice small centre from the Community Lions. It was impressive play, and it's looking really good now for the North Island select.
It's an 18-point wind. It's increased.
Well, Beach, Alan Governor needing some assistance this time around. Raises the flags as well. Governor comes out of the Manawa 2. He sadly this year didn't have a rep squad or even a club comp, so he's sort of come out of rugby, and its reputation and potential, it was really the selling point for the selectors for this North Island squad. They've really come back into the game, haven't they? A couple of subs now. Danny Riding is on for Tom Horner. Keep you posted on the other replacement as we get underway again. What a great comeback it's been here for Nicholson's North Island players. Tries to Levita, then Hanga Albert, and now to Nohotima. They're well and truly back into the mix. 24-18. What is now a competitive A very entertaining game here in Dobor. Here's the skipper. He was wonderful for the Orcas, although he gets backtracked with some decent, solid defence as well. Managing to get the pass this time from his teammate from the Orcas. And he's to ground on the 40-metre line, the skipper. Wants a quick play of the ball. That's dished up now. Good pass here. Another kick-off, Levita. Wouldn't surprise. Plenty of wind here to work with. It'll come to the youngster. That's him with the ball. Has to get the pass away. Governor's almost isolated here and indeed shut down. Well, they really should have utilised the ball better at the back end of that set, Rich.
Well, hats off to the Lions, really, to push up and really nullify that kick. They really rushed, particularly on the right edge. Fantastic work. And there is a little bit more energy we've seen with the North Island selection. You can just see it. They've really lifted that tempo.
18 unanswered points. That'll lift you. That'll lift any team.
That'll lift any team, and they've still got that decent wind behind them, and plenty of time on the clock as well. So they're a big chance here for the Lions. They're going to have to work hard. This the North Island team will come on, whistling Dixie. 22 out from the line and 20 in from the broadcast side of this wonderful venue. Up to play the ball is Dixon, and now the runners start to get themselves into shape and in position. Wide they come out to Connor Dwyer. He's already been good. Lovely ball from Lazenby, but Tier finds life difficult on the left edge. And a little mistake will let the North Island back in with possession.
They use the ball well, don't they?
From here, black ball.
Community Lions. This was such a nice play. Look, coming hard at the advantage line, and those little inside balls, inside shoulder runs are working a treat. Fortunately, the last pass just gone astray.
Yeah, Jack Lazenby really thought that what they were a big chance if he could have got decent and clean ball to Tier. I'm sure he would have got across the line. So now, North Island, they'll play this set conservatively, I suspect, and get a decent kick away. Solid defence too on the young Francis Waowa. Isn't that too much of the ball, Francis, today? Another one from the Orcas, but he's scored many tries this year. Left edge. He's got wheels. 12 coming on for New Zealand. Ross McFarlane is coming in for Josh McCurr. North Island onto Governor, just chipping over the top here. Tier is well positioned, cleverly retrieves the ball. I don't know if he had to play it off his foot, but it looked good. Why did you do it? Here's Lazenby.
High shot.
Too high. I think it's McFarlane who was berated by referee Graham Hill. And a good opportunity for just take a little breather and to assess what they need to do here, Richie. They've allowed the North Island too much momentum and field position. Now I think they need to be a little bit smarter in how they work this next phase over the next 4 or 5 minutes.
Just fair position of the ball, isn't it, in the second half? I mean, it's up the onus of, I think, North Island selection. We've seen how well they've attacked, but defensively they've struggled. I think this is an important phase and see how they handle the set.
Yeah, we could see a very important phase of play here, both on attack for the visitors and on defence for the home. And this time another penalty. I think they'd be getting frustrated here, the referee. Let's go and have a little listen. What's he got to say here? Bringing the skipper out for a bit of a chat.
So we've got a series of penalties coming down the field. Slowing it down too slow. Slowing the ruck down, laying in the ruck. The first comms is always to the ruck. I want to see the boys moving. So hey, when I'm making the comms to the ruck directly, they've got to make some action, okay? Yeah. All right?
So this is the referee. Nohotima is there. So's Levita and so's Hanga Albert. Farland in for Kerr. And now the Community Lions in a decent position. Here they come. Here's Carl Dixon. Moving into it, Freddy Walker. Walker excites and accelerates and so very close too. He scored a wonderful try in the opening exchange. Danger time for the North Island selection. Held up over the line and managing to get back into the field of play is Kemp. There's a knock on against the visitors. Let's have a look how it all played out with Richie Bunny.
Yeah, this is fantastic work. Defensively, it was sound, and he's dropped the ball there. But what's really impressive from the Lions is when they come out of dummy half, and particularly Marcus O'Brien, he draws a lot of defenders through that middle third, and then they're exposed on the edge.
So here's the scrum feed from Charlotte Governor. He's had a good game today, Charlotte. Maybe not such a great first half, might be another description of it as we come towards the last 13 minutes of play. Game at an exciting spot. Converted try away from levelling things up here at Old Delaney Park. McFarlane has the ball. Governor. Attitude on the run as well. This is JT Wharepaparaude. Let's have another go, he says. Come on, then. Have another one. Good attitude. 5 short of the halfway. Short side play. On to Governor. Shows it on the inside. Manages to get away from Dixon. That was cleverly collected in the end by the fullback Robins. Final tackle. Now isolated. Levitri wants to get the kick away, but can't. That's twice now. Poor play, really, on the last play of the set, Lavina.
He's a targeted man, obviously, and the community Lions realised that the ball was going to go to him. He had to get rid of it. Either get rid of it or put the bomb up again for Walker. You know, twice he's dropped it. There's an opportunity there. That's a big mistake from the North Island select. They needed the ball then. They needed to get rid of it. They needed to maintain momentum.
Kylie Hall's waiting over there on the right edge, saying, kick it this way. Give us a go. Here they come, the community Lions.
9 off the ball.
Stepping it up a gear. Why wouldn't they too, as we head towards the wrap-up of this intriguing battle. That kick collected out there wide by a Kahotea. And Punning's on the 30-metre line. Quick play the ball, delivered up for the North Island selection. Sensibly taking it in. One out running here to the 40. The tackle is by Chris Siddons. McFarlane gets hold of the ball.
9 off the ball.
He's a wholehearted contributor as well. I like Andre Kemp's work. A bit of leg drive goes on to post-contact as well. So this time to ground. 5 metres into the half of the England Community Lions. The chance. Captain. Tracey off to allow Siddons into the action. This is Governor putting a tester on at the back. Take it in the field of play. Play on. And now a gassy sort of a run from the fullback. It's Freddy Walker, but he certainly ain't walking this time. There's a darting run from him. And he's to ground 15 metres in from touch. Midway, 30, 40 out of dummy half. Danny riding.
Release 13.
He's 5 short of the halfway line riding. Wigan St. Pat's. Replacement on in 16. If they're able to score here, the Community Lions, they could really put one hand on the W. I would think this ball's been lost. And it was a knock on, so it will be the black and white squad who'll get the feed. The boys in red and white disappointed what's just occurred.
They're starting to look frustrated. Scoreless in the second half. Really needing to cross the line or nullify the attacking flair of the opposition and just making too many errors and trying desperately to create something that isn't there. Go back to the basics.
It'd be a hard coach, living in it. It would be a hard coach, I bet. Back to the basics, you guys. He's running around the field, time after time.
13, release.
If you're enjoying this tonight, just wait and see what's going to happen in Hamilton on Saturday night. Tonga Invitational squad nicknamed it the Wolf Pack because of the coach's surname. There's New Zealand Māori residents lining up against this visiting Community Lions on Sunday.
You say the atmosphere will be electric.
There's Levita, he's away from one. Oh, he's hard to put down, this guy. Look at him go. Wonderful run. Well, the coach was giving him big raps too, and I yarned with him yesterday, Jock Nicholson. But he's really living up to expectations at the moment. It's Levita.
Yeah, no, sorry, just move back.
Geez, the halves been fantastic, Governor.
Mark's here.
Levita, and then also Hainga Albert. The three of them are really starting to lift that tempo. They're making yards. Their tempo, they're working the momentum. We've seen it in the second half. They're really maximising the momentum.
The Hotima is close to the line. Skinner will run as a decoy to the back. Funny Paparawati now on the angled run. He's still going. Get the ball to Levita. He's really bamboozling them at the moment, the young standoff.
No, Marcus, stay up, 13.
This is him, ball in hand. Beautiful ball, and he finds Robins on the gas this time. Shut down with a beautiful tackle by Jack Lazenby. Spot on, Lazenby. Manu, that's gone backwards. Picked up beautifully as well by the Lions. The referee said no knock on. Levita's in the background saying, if only. And now, the momentum that was right behind the North Island selection turns itself on its head and is now with the Community Lions. I've been impressed by this bloke. Lazenby's had a barnstorming game.
He just finds yards, doesn't he? And then you bust another tackle. Both the centres are getting involved in this. Oh, sorry, the hooker. The second one's coming through now. Excuse the pun, but certainly these players need and desperately need to find some points.
There's the captain, Fran King, tempted to pop the pass back on the inside. Ranging up beside him was Gale. Doesn't use it. That's Gale at dummy half now. Tall and athletic. I bet he's got plenty of wheels too. The runner is there, but so's Nohotimo. Nice ball to Freddy Walker. Walker is over and scores beside the post. Well, he started it all in the 4th minute. And here we are as we approach the last 7 minutes, and Walker with a gutsy solo effort puts the Community Lions further in the lead.
Yeah, Freddy Walker just pushes up. Players that are making breaks, Marcus O'Brien. There's just so many players, in particular Gareth Gale. He looks exciting. He's got a lot to his game. He hasn't had many opportunities on the right edge, but certainly this man has broken tackles at will. Look, 3 or 4, 5 tackles. He finds his way. Another try, his second of the day. Fantastic work.
2 words, grit and determination. Awesome support play in the first place. Makes it through one and says, I might step, see where I go. Makes it through another 2 defenders here and pushes his way over the line for the first points of the game for them. An important try for the Community Lions to try and secure this game.
You know, good tries, enjoyable to watch, whatever grade they come in. And you know, that was a really wonderful solo effort. As you say, Livy, just full of determination and self-belief. They just made life real difficult for the 3 or 4 men who tried to halt his run. With the extras, Scott Spaven, who pushes them out to 30 to 18. That's a decent lead here. Have they got it in them? That's the question we must ask now of the North Island selection. It's 2 converted tries. Certainly doable. We had 3 in 5 minutes. But now the pressure's on and they have one eye on the clock as well, Richie. And you don't think that the Community Lions will allow themselves to falter as they did during that period of vulnerability early in the second half.
Well, there's nothing to lose, and I think that makes it more threatening, really. They're with the wind. We've seen the style of play that they have got defensively. They've struggled at times, but we've seen night of attack in the second half, which has been pleasing, particularly from their spine.
They'll be better for the run in the next 2 games. Be up against stiffer competition when they line up against the New Zealand residents. That'll be a good team Friday or tomorrow week in West Auckland.
Heads away, 12!
Get Levita. Levita, give him the ball. With a decent kick. There's a penalty here.
Play the ball, boys. Play the ball.
That's a big call, isn't it, with 5 minutes to go on the match?
Paul play the balls. You need to remain consistent. There was a penalty earlier in the game. Referee Hill, I think, is well within his rights to maintain that critique. Here we are now. 12 metres out from the try line. The North Island selection. They need to get moving. Are there a big chance? Here's the skipper. Skinner. Poor. Now he is to his feet. Governor has the ball. Governor holds it up and a big hit across the top as well on Daly Johnson. Spot on. Johnson looks threatening and then makes a mistake. So it's double payback here for the Community Lions. Getting time and a half for that hit, that's for sure.
I've got to say, defensively one-on-one, they've been superb, the Lions. And one of those, obviously, Carl Dixon has come up with an absolute pearler, or should I say Fran King, and that's the centres again. Making the right decisions, making some great yards when they need it most.
I'm the captain, I'll do the big tackle.
Well, he needed to inject himself a little more into the game, I thought, because he comes with such big raps, Fran King. But if you're doing the business already and your teammates are working well enough, you don't need to go on and impose. You can wait your turn. And I'll tell you what, I think he's got plenty more to show us on this history-making trip down under, let's put it that way. These guys who come from all parts of England, for whom rugby league is a family game. To his feet now is Connor Dwyer. Inside ball from Gareth Morgan. Pops the pass out the back, and this is a decent carry as well. Full of attitude. I don't think they're finished here. Here's Chris Siddons. Siddons almost rolls across the top of Governor as well, so inside the 20-metre line. That's the final tackle on Siddons. 3 to play. I think the game is secured here for the visitors. They'll be pleased about that as Lazenby finds Tier on the far side of the field. Tier is bundled into touch, but that's not such a bad result as well for this touring Community Lions squad. Injury at the moment. He just wants to check. It's cramp, I think, on the far side. One of the North Island players, in fact, it's Taumotu Nuhutema. McFarlane looks in to help out. Ross McFarlane, that is. 18's in instead. Every Kiwi game tomorrow night, 9:40. Make sure you watch it. Great Britain Lions and the Tonga Invitational squad do battle. Will be one heck of a show too. Waikato Stadium Saturday night. It's going to be a real doozy. Hope you're able to either get there in person or watch it right here in the home of New Zealand League, Sky Sport. Great international window here at the back end of our regular NRL seasons and local competitions. It's evidenced here is Levita. He's done no damage to his reputation or league stocks, that's for sure, the young fella, Richie. Levita.
Oh, he's been fantastic. Brilliant effort, and I think he really ignited the attack in the second half. I mean, his positional play's been fantastic. His kicking's been on point, but it's just a sheer enthusiasm really changed the game.
Decent chase, taken at the back by Freddy Walker. He's been one of the standouts here for this touring Community Lions team. But it'll be very satisfying here for their coach, Richard Owen. First hit out, as I say, the last time he was here, he was a player, the Bala squad, and now coming here as a coach. The team, as mentioned, none have ever been to New Zealand before. So this is a wonderful start to their campaign. I'll be very pleased to get this one under their belt. So you see a charging run here from Tony Burns, who runs into Hainga Albert. Some standouts for you, Richie B.
Quite a few, actually, and I've got to say, particularly with English, I thought the England Community Lions, Marcus O'Brien's been fantastic. Freddy Walker's chimed in so nicely. Their back row has been fantastic. And for the Northern Ireland select, I thought the halves were being fantastic in the second half, particularly Governor and Levita.
Now
And
that's
as you mentioned before, Dale, you know, Manu, McFarlane and Johnson Kemp were just brilliant.
let's have another look at this. This is Lazenby. He's been pretty good today. But have a look at this for a kick, Rich. I think he's been watching one of your games. Look at this.
Head away!
There you go, mate.
Well, they're born with the football in their over in England.
17! Lock
Got to
in.
get the kick away.
Incredible.
And he did. He's been one of my standouts today, actually, Jack Lazenby. I think he's been terrific.
Time.
And it's
Take
been
it back
a neat game. Tries early on. Remember, it's 14-0 to the Community Lions. We picked the wins at about 10. So Walker and Tracey scored in that first half. Dwyer and Siddons went in early in the second half too, at one stage pushing out to 22-0. Then came the run of tries, 3 to the home team, and Walker finished it off. So there've been plenty of tries, played in great spirit as well, as the two teams recognise that the hooter has sounded. And a wonderful victory here for the England Community Lions against the North Island selection in their first 3-game tour of New Zealand. It's the Community Lions 30, North Island selection 18.